So having understood a cantilever beam, how it's working is, now what we will do is we will take another beam, another example. So this example is of a RC beam which is simply supported over an effective span of 4.8 meters. It carries ultimate load of 97.5 kilonewton meter. Ultimate load UDL is given 97.5 kilonewton per meter. Now design a rectangular beam if overall dimension of the beam is restricted to 300 mm wide and 650 mm depth. Now please note, in this beam we have been given the width, we have been given the overall depth also. We have been told that the overall depth is 650 mm and we cannot increase it. The loading is already given, the ultimate load what is coming on the beam is given. Now this the overall depth which has been given as 650 mm, it may be that the architect does not want the beam to be deeper than 650 mm. It could also be that from the architectural point of view, the elevation wise, the beam, if it goes below 650 mm, it may not be looking nice, or maybe it is going to interfere between the headroom. That's why maybe the restriction of 650 mm is put over here. There could be so many conditions. It could be something like maybe it's a garage. If the beam comes below this, then it may interfere with the cars or the vehicles which are to be parked over there. So there is a limitation over here, and we have been told that the beam can be maximum of 650 mm depth. Effective cover is given to be 50 mm. So the cover has been already decided. The effective cover has to be 50 mm. So probably the durability condition, the fire resistance has been already taken into consideration, and the effective cover has been told to us is 50 mm. Grade of concrete and the steel which is prevailing in the structure is M25 and Fe500, so no changes are permitted in that also. So the parameters have been given. So obviously what they only want us to do is, for this particular parameters, for this particular beam, what is the steel? How much steel do we provide? So let us just compile the data. The compile is the WU, that is ultimate load, given to be 97.5 kilonewton per meter. Now in this case we are assuming that it is inclusive of self weight. As mentioned earlier, since it is not mentioned whether it is inclusive of self weight or without, since the dimensions are already known over here, that the width is 300 mm and the depth is 650 mm overall depth, we can safely presume that this load, ultimate load, also carries with it the self weight of the beam. So that is what we have assumed. It's a simply supported beam. Effective span is 4.8 meters that has been given. 4.8 meters. M25 concrete, Fe500 steel, the width is given, the overall depth is given, the effective cover has been given, and so we are supposed to find out AST and number of bars. So in the calculations, grade of concrete and steel have been given, that's the first step. The beam width is given, that's the second step. Effective depth can be easily calculated from the overall depth and the effective cover. So overall depth minus effective cover gives me the effective depth. So 650 minus 50, the effective depth comes to 600 mm. So all the parameters are known. Now it is safely that we have to go ahead and calculate what is the amount of steel required in this particular beam. Now find the ultimate bending moment acting on the beam due to the loads. Please note over here we are not finding the service or the normal working bending moment. We are directly finding the ultimate bending moment BMU, because ultimate load has been given already. When the ultimate load has been given, the bending moment will be ultimate bending moment. The ultimate load already has the load factor applied to it. So we are finding ultimate bending moment as WL squared by 8, because it's a simply supported beam with a UDL. So bending moment ultimate will be equal to the value given, magnitude given is 97.5 into 4.8 square by 8. So BMU is equal to 280.8 kilonewton meter. It's a huge amount of bending moment. 280.8 kilonewton meter which is coming on the beam. That's the ultimate bending moment. Going to the next step, calculate what is the capacity of the beam to resist the bending moment. Can it resist a bending moment of 280.8 kilonewton meter? Let us have a look at that. So use G1.1c page 96 to get the value of mu. That is mu limiting. For Fe500 we have been given on page number 70, XU max by D is 0.46. Now that's the formula. So mu limiting we are trying to find out 0.36, xu max by d we have got it as 0.46. So 1 minus 0.42, this is 0.46. B is already given to us as 300. D we have calculated is 600 and FCK is my 25. So from here we get mu limiting as 361.56 kilonewton meter or 361.56 into 10 raised to 6 Newton mm. Look at this, 361.56 kilonewton meter, and the bending moment coming on the beam, ultimate bending moment coming on the beam is 280.8 kilonewton meter. So the resisting capability of the beam is much higher than this. So we conclude if mu limiting, that is 361.56, is greater than the bending moment ultimate which is coming on the beam, that is 280.8, the assumed section is acceptable. Whatever section has been given to us is acceptable. And since mu limiting is greater than BMU, obviously the section is a under reinforced section. This particular section is a under reinforced section. Having given that it is a under reinforced section, understanding that it is a under reinforced section, let us calculate the value of AST. Use IS 456 clause G 1.1b on page 96 and get the value of AST by putting this value of mu equal to BMU. So that's the equation which we have. So mu is 200, the bending moment which is coming on the beam is 280.6 into 10 raised to 6. Please note we are taking in Newton mm over here is equal to 0.87. My Fy is again 500 Newton per mm square. AST we are trying to find out in mm square. The effective depth is 600 mm. Then 1 minus AST we are trying to find out. Fy is 500 Newton per mm square. My B is 300 mm. D is 600 mm. And FCK, that is the grade of concrete, is 25 Newton per mm square. That is given. Solving this, the quadratic equation, we get the value of AST equal to 1249.27 mm square. 1249.27 mm square. Having got this, we need to give the check for minimum steel in tension. Minimum steel in tension to be provided for flexure in a beam, use clause 26.5.1, page 46-47 of the code. So AS upon BD equal to 0.85 upon Fy. So cross multiplying, AS equal to 0.85 multiplied by BD. The Fy term remains at the bottom. So AS is equal to 0.85 into my B is 300, D is 600 and Fy is 415. So given that my value of AS is equal to 306.00. We get the value of AS as 306.00. Having got this, we check this value and this value. This value is higher than this value. The AST required from the bending moment point of view is higher than AST minimum. So AST calculated is more than AST minimum. So provide AST calculated, whichever is the higher of the two. So provide AST calculated. Now calculate the number of bars to be provided. We over here assume 20 mm diameter bars to be provided. Area of 1 bar. Since it is a circle, area is pi by 4 into d square. Area is pi by 4 into 20 square, or area is 314 mm square. How many bars are required? For this area, that is 1249.27, so it will be 1249.27 divided by 1 bar, that is 314. So the number we are getting is 3.98. Say round it off to 4 number of bars. So provide 4 bars of 20 mm diameter. Now this is all in the calculation. Let us see how it looks in the beam. In the graphical sketch, we have a simply supported beam. That's my span. The main steel is at the bottom because tension is at the bottom. Please note over here, these are 4 bars of 20. In the cross section, 4 bars of 20 are shown here. These are 2 hanger bars which are there on top. Please note 4 TOR 20 TOR, that is high yield strength bars. So similarly over here 2 TOR 8, the width has been shown, the effective depth has been shown, the overall depth has been shown. So that's the way we depict the beam in the sketch. As mentioned earlier, the stirrups are not shown over here when we will be doing the stirrups design. When we will be taking up the design for shear, at that time the stirrups also will be shown, and at that time the design of the beam will be complete. So that's how we design a singly reinforced beam.